What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. Before I get into the video, as always, I want to remind you guys, if you want to donate to my channel, if you want to show love to my channel, if you want to contribute to Too Raw for TV, you can do so on the links provided in the description box. And also, I will be putting a link to my Patreon account, my new Patreon account, in the description box. And if you want to subscribe to my Patreon account for only $2 a month, if that's in your budget, if you want to listen to me talk about stuff that I can't talk about on YouTube, any topic, you can subscribe to the Patreon account. Only $2 a month. Now, I saw Ticket do a video about this, man. I had to talk about this too. Basically, the Toronto Raptors feel like Kawhi Leonard used them, I guess, in negotiations. And the first thing that popped in my mind was ungrateful. Okay? You guys were known before Kawhi Leonard got there. And let's all remember, he was traded there. He didn't ask to go there. He was traded there. We all know that his preference, no matter what Paul George and other people he might want to allude to, was the Lakers, not the Clippers. But he was traded there. He made the best of a situation, the best the person can ever make of a situation, and he brought that city a championship. He brought that team a championship. But let's not kid ourselves. Before this past season, the Raptors were known as perennial losers. Okay? They were losers. They were like, shit, the New York Knicks of the 2000 teens. You know what I'm saying? And LeBron was Jordan. They could never get past LeBron. Shit, even the Knicks got past the Bulls one year, even though Jordan wasn't there, in 94. And then they got to the finals again the year after he retired for the Bulls in 99. Toronto couldn't even do that until Kawhi got there. And then also conveniently LeBron left, but I still think the Raptors would have beaten LeBron even if he was with Cleveland. That's another video. But he brought this city a championship. And he gave you ample opportunities, talking about Kawhi Leonard, for Toronto to get their shit together to convince him to stay. But they were so adamant about keeping Pascal Siakam. So adamant about this. Pascal Siakam, to me, is a very good player. But he is not the type of player that you can build a championship around. He's not that type of player. He's not. He's a good complementary piece. He's a good second option. And in some cases, he's even been a third option if Kyle Lowry got his shit going. But he's not the type of guy that you can lead a team around. You do everything you can, if you're the Toronto Raptors, to placate the guy that delivered a championship for you, who was Kawhi Leonard. You do everything you can. There's a situation where they could have traded for Paul George, traded for Russell Westbrook. You would have had a legitimate super team on your hands because most likely Kawhi Leonard would have re-signed in that situation. You didn't want to do it because you wanted to hang on to Pascal Siakam for whatever reason. I have no fucking idea. Okay? To me, at the very best, Pascal Siakam's upside is like Lamar Odom's. That's at his very best. And we know Lamar Odom was a very good player. Borderline all-star type player. But he's not the type of guy that's going to be the first option to win a championship. He's a complimentary piece. A very valuable complimentary piece, but a complimentary piece. I don't get it. You could have got Paul George. You could have had, if you're the Raptors, you could have had Paul George and Kawhi Leonard the best two-way players in the NBA in their primes at the same time, plus Russell Westbrook. No matter how you feel about him, he's still one of the top point guards, or maybe in this situation, they may have moved him over. He probably would have moved over to shooting guard. Well, I think he actually would be more effective. But he's one of the better players in the NBA, Russell Westbrook. And I still am convinced that part of his problems for why he struggled shooting this last season has been due to injuries. And he didn't really not have time to practice on his game. Because remember, he missed the first 7 games last year because he was still recuperating from the surgery. So I think this year, look, let's be honest, Russell's never going to be he's never going to be Craig Hodges from downtown. He's not. He's not going to be a good 3-point shooter. But the year that he won the MVP, he had at least became a guy you had to somewhat respect from the 3-point range. He got up to about 33%, 34% maybe from beyond the arc. This past year, he was at 28%, I think. So he really fell back with that shot. But anyway, getting off the topic, Toronto could have done just that, and they would have stayed a very deep team. They would have stayed a championship contending and perhaps even the favorites. And like Ticket said, they could have had a little dynasty in Toronto. They could have done some big things, but no, for whatever reason, you didn't want to listen to your best player, and you lost him. You lost him. So now it's just a case of, as Ticket said, sour grapes. You guys are sour, and right now, what's going to happen to the Raptors is they're going to fall back into irrelevancy. They're not going to be the worst team in the Eastern Conference or in the NBA, but they're going to be now more or less an average team. You know what I'm saying? Without Kawhi Leonard, I see them being a team maybe winning 46 games, maybe 46 and 36, something around there. You know what I mean? Um, Maybe like toward the bottom half of the Eastern Conference as far as playoffs is concerned. Maybe a fifth seed or I don't know, somewhere around there. That's why I see them as. Because they're still a good team without Kawhi Leonard, but they're not a championship caliber team. They wouldn't have beaten, for instance, without Kawhi Leonard, I know for a fact they wouldn't have beaten the Sixers. They wouldn't have beaten the Sixers. And I think that if the Sixers had played the Bucks, I think the Bucks would have beaten them. I think the Bucks just match up better against the Sixers than they do against the Raptors. And I think it would have been the Bucks and the Warriors in the finals. And as depleted as the Warriors became, I think the Bucks would have won a championship. So you can say Kawhi Leonard helped to thwart the Bucks as far as championship opportunities concerned. Kawhi Leonard is a special player, man. He's a special player. I think right now he's the best player in the NBA, and you should do everything you can to keep this guy, especially when he's in a situation where he really doesn't love the team or the city he's playing in, but he probably felt some sort of loyalty. He felt some sort of sense of at least giving this team a chance in negotiations. And he gave you guys, you had an opportunity, a golden opportunity to make a big trade to lock him up, and you didn't do it. You didn't cater him at all. It's you guys' fault. It's the Raptors' fault. And now they're going to fall back into irrelevancy, and now they're all sour at the guy, which doesn't make sense because he helped deliver you guys a championship. But that's what I'm talking about with these organizations, man. People want to get on these players for not being loyal to organization, but when it's vice versa, you know what I'm saying? People don't want to, well, we know who they are. We know who they are. Those guys that always want to harp on the players and shit. We know what it's all about. We know what time it is. So, Kawhi Leonard's with the Clippers. You know what I'm saying? The Clippers organization, the owner, Jerry West, those guys, they gave Kawhi Leonard an offer he couldn't refuse. They gave him an offer he couldn't refuse. That's how you do it. You know, he would have went to the Lakers, but they did what Toronto wouldn't do, and he bounced to the Clippers. Shocked me because at first I was riding the fence, and then I thought maybe the Raptors. Then I thought, well, maybe the Lakers. I didn't know, but I wasn't even considering the Clippers. So that's all I got to say about that, man. I think the Raptors are being salty with this one, man. I don't think they really have much a leg to stand on in this argument. And also I just see it as being ungrateful. The guy gave you a championship, okay? So that's one less team in the NBA that hasn't won a championship, and you're the first team outside of the United States in the NBA to win a championship. Actually, the only team because the Grizzlies are no longer in Vancouver. So, you know, it's just a few teams now that haven't won a championship. Uh, it's only what the Grizzlies, the Bobcats, the Hornets, the Pelicans, Jazz, um, the Magic. Other teams haven't won championships. Um, Trying to think. Hmm. Well, you guys in the comment section will come up with them. I mean, I got 6 teams so far that haven't won championships, but I'm pretty sure there's a couple of more. But tell me what you guys think, man.